What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we're going to talk about the free-to-play character, Gato, a character that we can actually get completely for free from this event. And these events are really, really awesome because you can just do your dailies, you can farm up all these little tokens right here, and you're going to be able to get this guy, which is awesome. And everybody's going to be able to get this guy to A3 pretty much guaranteed, which is pretty awesome. And on top of that, you're actually going to also be able to get stones for him. Now, these stones, guys, I haven't tested this, but these are EX stones, and generally, EX stones don't work on SS characters. They only work on native EX characters. And speaking of which, these are not going to be the best stones for Gato, as I will explain here in a second. Now, the thing to note about Gato is that his leadership gives an increased attack by 60% and decreased attack cooldowns by 2 seconds for BOS syndrome fighters. These are the available BS syndrome fighters in the game right now. So, if your waifu is Jeanette or Alice here, then you can hold out hope that maybe they'll get an EX version in the future and Gato's leadership can actually buff them up, which would actually be really great. And obviously, if you have Shermie and Lady Choi, his leadership is going to buff them up tremendously. So that's one really good thing about the character already. The next thing, guys, is that he does have an EX change-up kit available. He is a yellow balanced fighter, and really the best thing about this is the fact that you can actually use them in RHD, Reviving Hell's Dungeon. You can take them up to level 70. You can put them on your yellow team, right? And that would actually really help maybe in RHD. So that's something to think about. However, what I would recommend for a lot of you players, and it's really going to depend on where you're at in the game, is that you need 3 actual memories to do a change-up kit for this character, right? And you can get those 3 memories from the event right now. However, I feel like if players don't have SS memories lying around, they don't have these generic memories lying around, they're not going to. You guys can see that I got 2 of these memories already, but I'm holding out. I want to get 1 more memory and just do a change-up kit for him, because before me, I always try to unlock the EX skills on every single character, right? I got to get this guy, and then I got Keel, and then I'll have all the exchange of skills unlocked on all of the characters that have an available EX skill. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on. But maybe you're going to be different. Maybe you're just going to say screw it and just go ahead and use these stones and try to, or go ahead and use these memories and go ahead and try to get those EX stones from the event. It really depends on what your goals are and what you really want. Do you want to get the stones immediately? I mean, if you're not pulling for Shermie and Lady Choi, right? And you don't have those 2 characters leveled up, then maybe you'd rather just get those EX stones. And again, the stones aren't going to be the best for this guy, but they are going to be, godly, obviously, for some, EX characters out there. So maybe you'd rather use your memories for a change of kit, or maybe you'd rather use them for leveling him up in order to get some EX stones. So it's really up to you guys what you want to do. Now I do have, he's just awakened level 10, guys. He is, he's max build, up to awakened level 10 anyways. And he does have 30% PG rate, which is actually really good. The blast skill, the strike skill. He doesn't have really nothing OP, to be perfectly honest with you guys, but he does instantly recover all team members' power by 4% upon using Fang of Darkness. This is on a 2-second cooldown, and whenever you have Hotaru on the team, he does increase his active skill damage by 40%. So it's really important to have her on the team so you increase your active skill damage. And if you use her as a striker, she actually increases your active skill damage by another 5%. Now, what I'm going to be doing today, I'm not going to be using her as a striker because I want a decreased skill cooldown by 1 second, because you can actually spam him a lot faster that way. And then his increased active skill damage dealt to enemies affected by Starlight by 165%, decreases active skill cooldown by 0.5 seconds. So he's got a nice little CDR core where he reduces the cooldown reduction of his skills, and which is awesome, guys. You can keep his hyper armor up a lot, and you'll find he's actually really good for guild raid, certain modes anyways, upon landing a hit on a Starlight target. And then he can obtain power by guarding. He decreases damage received by 70% for 3 seconds when accumulated attacks reaches 5 times. This is for all the BO syndrome fighters. And his first skill, guys, gives him a decreased damage received by 85% for 4 seconds. This is the moneymaker as far as keeping him alive in Guild Raid. And he also does give an attack buff by 50%, which is really nice. But then it gets pretty interesting. The first time you tap it, you do get the penetration by 1500. But if you tap it twice, you also increase all team members' attack by 40% for 12 seconds. This is amazing. So think about it. You got his leadership that increases 60% attack for BS Syndrome fighters. And he gives another 40% attack to Shermie and Lady Choi, which is pretty cool. And on top of that, he increases Starlight Shock and Bleed, right? The 2 dot explosions that the other girls have, by 55%. So he's also increasing their dot explosion, which is pretty nutty. And then his second skill 70% chance to reset Wind Fang upon using this, and then increase target damage by 35%. So this is another buff that he's actually giving those girls, right? Whenever he does his first skill, he's going to give the increased attack by 40%, but he's also going to give the increased target damage received when you use this skill for 8 seconds, which does help your damage. And then the third skill does give him Hyper Armor, which is really great. This for 3 seconds. It is an interrupt skill that's limited to standing and airborne. And then his default actually does Starlight damage, which is actually really great for 10 seconds. And his striker bonus applies Starlight to everybody on screen. This is really, really great, especially for RHD, because as many of you already know, and maybe some of you don't, whenever you're applying dots in RHD, especially one that applies to all enemies, you can actually deplete the life of the opponents, which is actually really, really awesome. Now, let's talk about the imprint stones. This is going to be a better imprint stone than the EX stones for this character, guys. And the reason is the EX stones for him, they're just not going to be very good for this guy, especially the first stone, right? The first stone is increased bleed and shock. That is useless for this character. And the EX stones only give 20% extra attack. You got 10% here, and you got 10% here, right? Just 20% attack. This stone here is much better that you can actually get from Guild Raid because you actually increase your attack in a total of 22%. So you're gaining 2% more attack, and you can increase your Starlight damage by 25% whenever you're using your Awakened skill for 10 seconds, right? It's just better to have this stone on him, at least in my humble opinion. And then the second stone, does increase his active skill 1 damage by 20%. So that actually would be really, really dope. But again, I mean, maybe you'd be better off just going with Starlight stones because I don't even know if these EX stones work on them. I'm going to be doing another video about this, and I'm going to be testing whether or not the EX stone actually works on this character. Because again, generally in the past, guys, the EX stones don't work on SS characters. They only work on native EX characters like Shermie and Lady Choi. So as far as card sets, guys, I'm just going to use the Akane set, but the set that you actually get from the Rush Dungeons is actually really good because it increases your Starlight damage by 75% and your active skill damage by, I think, 22%. Right, we're just going to use regular cooldown cards, and then we're just going to use this 3PG that we all got for free from the event. And this increases attack, it gives him critical rate and critical damage, which is really nice, helping his damage out quite a bit. And then, of course, his Affinity is at level 10. All right, so we'll jump into Guild Raid, guys, and I'll just do a live run for you, because I feel pretty confident in him. Now, we're just going to be doing Lunatic because this is where Rugal is actually weak to Starlight. We can actually break the meter with Starlight, right? And we'll just do a little solo with the guy. We'll use his leadership. We'll use Lady Choi as a striker. And Lady Choi is pretty nice because active team members do obtain 15% power. And then also, as long as we're above 70% HP, we get an increased attack buff by 15%, attack speed by 5%, and decreased skill cooldown by 1 second. This is really the main reason I want her. I wish Hotaru actually offered that, but she doesn't as far as a striker. But we do got Hotaru, so we do get the extra active skill damage by 40%. All right, so we're just going to try this with Gato and see how he does. Let's do it. Now, he can reset his first skill, but I'm just going to go 3-2-1 because he does have a CDR core, and we can easily keep that hyper armor up more often. Now, what I like to do is I like to bring in Lady Choi whenever I have Starlight apply because she does a lot of hits. Well, that kind of sucked right there. And it's definitely, we didn't really want to do that, all right? All right, let's go. Now, you really want to make sure you hit the first skill twice sometimes. There we go. Now, here's what's really important. He has a decreased damage received by 85% on his first skill. So we're going to hit that first skill. We're going to tap it twice really quick so we get the decreased damage received before Rugal explodes on us, right? There we go. Nice. And I always try to make sure I tap that first skill twice. I mean, he really does break the meter very quick, which is nice. And that CDR core is sweet, guys. And you really get in a pattern with the character whenever you're trying to do a solo. So, like, right after your 3PG, always hit your first skill twice, tap it twice. Right? So that way you don't take any damage, right? Which is really nice. Come on, get up there. And another thing that's nice is he does apply Starlight, right? And because of his CDR core, guys, because we got the decreased skill cooldown, we can actually run through our skills fairly fast. We're going to do our 3PG. We don't want to use our Awakened skill just yet. Alright. Another 3BG is pretty fun. Yeah. There we go. We reset that first skill. That's nice. And yeah, Lady Choi really helps with her damage. Okay, we'll hit that 3PG. Again, guys, this is always the pattern you really want to get to with Gato, is if you're using him for a solo against Guild Raid here, always make sure you hit that first skill, especially if you're not using a healer, right? I mean, if you're not using a healer, then you really want to be making sure you get that up. And nice, nice, nice. So cool. He's a fun character to play, I will say that. Let's go, let's go. I mean, he breaks the meter pretty fast, I gotta say. And let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And then, we're just using a regular Akane set, guys. We don't really need that high of a score to get the maximum rewards out of this game mode. And we're just comboing away. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I mean, the thing about this, guys, though, like, that kind of sucks, is that now they really kind of sucked because we actually didn't have our decreased damage received up, right? So we lost a lot of power. Do our 3PG. We'll probably die after this, to be perfectly honest, guys. Kind of screwed up there a little bit, but eh. So 791 million, right? Which is, I mean, it's a good score, right? It's a good score. It's at A1, right? He's just A1. So, like, for you newer players, I mean, it's fine. You're going to be able to get some rewards out of here. The thing is, though, guys, on Lunatic, right, you need 714 million to get the maximum score, right? We just one keyed that at A1, right? But there's no SS or BS memories in here. I mean, you can get stones in here, which is actually really good. You can get Starlight Stones, which is actually good for him, right? But, the thing is, for veterans, right, for veteran players, we already have so many stones that a lot of us don't even play Lunatic. There are players that do play it. Obviously, they're going to play all these because they're going to try to collect as many stones as possible, so that way they can, salvage those babies and then try to come in here and get some stones in here, right? So come in here and try to get these stones right here, right? Because they're trying to get these materials in order to craft these stones. So they might be playing every single one just for that reason, and he's going to be really good for Lunatic. And I will do another video, guys, as far as whether or not he's going to be a really good support, just from the 40% attack buff and the increase of shock, which I think he actually will be, maybe if properly played, but that remains to be seen. But I mean, he's a free character, and he's a really cool character. He's not going to be the strongest character in the game by any means, guys. He's a decent character, and definitely for newer players, he's going to be a really good character to have. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple pulls, guys, because we're almost to this pity. We're getting closer and closer and closer. We only need 24 pulls to go, right? These 5 tokens here I actually got from the KOF pass today. That thing finished, so hopefully we can get lucky. Right? Because I really would like to get Lady Choi leveled up a little bit more, get Shermie leveled up a little bit more, and of course we don't get no luck at all. Oh, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, right? So we'll go ahead and do a nice big pull here and see what happens. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And of course, nothing. So disappointing, man. So disappointing. What a shame. What a shame. We only need 9 more Just one more pull, guys, one more multi, and we'll be at that biddy, and more than likely won't get anything. But at least I'll get another selector. I'll be able to take this girl at least to A1, and I'll have Shermie at A3. But let me know what you guys think about the free-to-play character, Gato, and I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GG+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody.